Oh my gosh, I'm having a weird day. I wonder if anybody else is. I don't know. But I definitely am having a weird day. I've been on the phone nonstop all freaking morning. And I don't know. People wanting to talk about a lot of stuff. I think it's all just, it's all this stuff that's coming up in people, It's all about this purging stuff out, And it's so crazy too for me because I'm so deeply like spiritual. Like I'm so focused on the soul side of things. And, when you're talking to people in the three-dimensional, they don't understand that stuff. And they don't understand, like when you say, yeah, but a kid picks their family. They don't just go, oh, I like the way that one looks. No, when you're up in a soul world, you can look down. You see what your life would be. You choose that life because you want to come in and experience those things because your soul is not a little child. It's not fragile. Your soul is wanting to go in and experience. And the whole thing is when you're in the experience, you are feeling the emotions. You're feeling how it feels. So it makes you react in certain ways. That is the projection. That is what your higher self, your oversoul is experiencing, is so that it can project itself into the situation so that it can experience like how do you feel, how do you react, what is it that you do in these situations, what motivates you, how do you decide who and what you are in every scenario. That is what your oversoul is experiencing so that it can grow. And, and that's why I talk about people get so caught up in this experience from their avatar. And, the avatar is in the three dimensionals, just like in a video game, when people are in the video game and they are, God, I'm so uncomfortable. And Stella's having such a hard time. Oh my gosh, she's having a hard time. She won't even eat. She just keeps crying and crying. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely something. Today they brought out the illumination disc. Right away, everything just turned to fog. I think it seems like kind of like they turn this thing on, this artificial light thing, and then it does something to the atmosphere because it's not a natural kind of heat. So it does something to the atmosphere and it just turns fog everywhere. It's so weird. And nobody questions it because, that's just life. That's the way it is. Because everybody's living from the avatar. And they are so busy and focused on the experience, how they're feeling in the experience. That's why I talk about it. It's the mastery of your emotions. It is being able to figure out how to become centered. And I mean, so many times I'm sitting there having these conversations and I'll be like, I just taught, and somebody's like, what about this? What about that? And blah, 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 it can be all different kind of conversations. But a lot of them, are, coming at me. And I'm like, I just was talking about this on my channel, but, people just don't see, I see things very different than so many people. And, before, because I saw things differently, I thought something was wrong with me. I don't think that anymore. I used to think, oh, it's me. I need to be different. I'm just a weirdo in this world. And now I see like, no, this world is full of weirdness, but it's because they're all being misled. It's because they're supposed to be people like me that come in and shake things up and tell you, look at it different. Look at it different. There has to be different people that come in. That's what we need. And that's why I said there's lots of them. I'm not the only one. There's tons. There's tons of people coming and saying all sorts of wacky stuff. And we need that as a collective, as a species, is what is going to maneuver us into being deeper and being more. And it's just so much. I can't get that visual out of my head of the video game. and how so many people are in the video game. There's no coincidence that people sit there and say, well, this is all just illusion. This is a video game. This is, the different stuff people say. Like my daughter, one of them was just telling me about, did you ever hear of filler people? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And she's telling me about the stuff that she's hearing. Well, yeah, I heard about the filler people a long time ago. Read about Dolores Cannon. And I think I may have heard about it before that. But Dolores Cannon talks a lot about the filler people. And to me, what I think is going on, like, there's tons of people all around us. What we've come to realize is that we're all living different realities. Our reality is our own reality. There's not a reality that we're all existing in. We could all be like, oh yeah, well, the government sucks. But even we're finding that is a division, right? Or any of the things, the medical sucks. Well, we're finding not everybody's in that reality. So we're starting to really understand about these like alternate realities. They're all different. They're all standalone realities. And then when you start going into about a soul and you start understanding that you are a projection, you are projecting your self into this reality so you can watch, so you can learn and grow. That's why, people feel like that they are, you are being watched, but they feel like they don't have control over it and stuff because it's all contracted. The oversoul is the one who, you think you are answering to a God. It's you. You are your oversoul. You are your higher self. It's the higher self, higher aspect of self. It's the more, it's your soul in the more purest form. And so you are your oversoul. So you're answering to yourself. Like people are praying and praying to God, but it's to you that you are praying to. So, and there's also, prayers, about other people. Because I also got one of those, a super fucking fucked up story. And, I knew all of these were going to be coming, and I am just as one after another, and it's super sad. It's super fucked up, little kids are shooting themselves, and, moms are asking for prayers and stuff. And then, they're praying to a consciousness, to they think of it as like God, like there's a man up there who's controlling things, like if we just pray to him, maybe he won't give us so many hard problems or something. If we just pray to him, maybe he would be easier on us, if we just pray to him, maybe he can save this person, but it's energy. And death isn't somebody abandoning you. It's they completed what they had to do. And some kids leave early. And I don't know what's happened with this one. When I think of praying, I think of you've got to go directly into that soul. Your soul has to go to that soul. And, but you still have to be able to let him go. Like I've got to think about this stuff all the time with, Stella, like, and she just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's like, is she leaving me? Like, I don't know. And I can go in as my soul and say, please seal yourself. Don't leave me. But, if the contract's up, they're going to go. It doesn't matter. All the prayers in the world. You can also help people who are, get an injury and then they go in, like my sister. She hung herself, and I think she was found, she'd been dead, like, I don't know, maybe she'd been dead like 10 minutes or 15 minutes when they found her, and they brought her back, and but she already had brain injury because of the hypoxia and the no oxygen in her brain. So, she's different, and her life is very different. Everything is very different. Like she's not, she'd come back and go to her old life. I mean, she lives in a nursing home. She, she's got a lot of stuff. And, but she came back, but, it wasn't like we could pull her back, like our prayers would pull her back and then she would go into this broken body or something. No, it is that that was her purpose, was to go through that experience, come back, so that her oversoul, because this isn't about being in everybody thinks it's all about what is going on in the present moment. It is your oversoul watching, you're projecting, so it can understand itself. Like everything is so much more on a soul level. But there's so many people who just want to talk about the experience as the avatar. And I have such a hard time being able to, because I don't look at life like that. I don't look at life as like, from the avatar's perspective. It is, I lived that before. I'm not saying that I didn't live that. I definitely lived that. I was caught up in the rat race, dog eat dog world of survival of the fittest, and I wasn't my best self. I was very unhappy. I was sad. I was miserable. I spent time being suicidal. I was on 18 fucking pills, if that tells you anything. I mean, I was trying to fix it, just going around the wrong way. And, getting a brain injury right there, it pushed me into a different way. I had to try and figure out how to survive. And I had to really begin to look at myself differently. And it didn't all happen immediately. It was like, it was a systematic kind of path. Like each thing would lead to the next thing. Each thing, like you can't skip in and experience C if you haven't gone through A and B. You have to go through A and B. That's what leads you to C. So you can't skip around in your experiences, and each experience or each lesson, it goes into the next one. Like you learn this because it's going to help you over here. So you have to learn this part. So it wasn't just like I got a brain injury and, all of a sudden, oh, I'm all fixed in magic. No, it was a very long process. It was very difficult. It was super hard. And especially to get to this point right here, that has been, that to me shows me how well I'm doing, to get to the point where I can, put myself out here. I was so fucking freaked out in the beginning of even talking. Oh my gosh. Especially when you knew a lot of words before something, and then all of a sudden, you can't remember words. You can't remember what you're saying. You can't remember what you're talking about. Things just are, I got to where, I would, a lot of times I would meet people and I would start talking and I would right away see them looking kind of weird. And I would say, well, I have a brain injury. I felt like I had to disclose it all the time. Like, I'm not weird. I have a brain injury. If I'm not making sense, it could be something like that. But, I'm living a different reality than some people, everything changed, time changed, my memory changed, what was important changed. And, you start looking at life differently, and you start having to try and figure out how to clean it up, and where do I want to go from here? What do I want from my life? And, so to get to this point where I can come in and talk about, my beliefs, where I've been laughed at for, most of my life about my beliefs, to the point where you just stop telling people, lose friends over it and stuff. I mean, that's how defined our society is by, there's no aliens, there's no Bigfoot, Jesus is our holy savior, God is up there watching over us. Like all of that stuff, people can't break free from that. And when you're saying like, no, that's not real, then, you get laughed at, shunned, pushed away, So to get to a point where I can come on here and talk and not be, and then plus I was so insecure about how I looked. Oh my God. I remember going into like grocery stores or check cashing things or something. I remember being at registers and those little camera things, and you look up and you see yourself, and I would be like, oh my God, I couldn't even stand to see myself in one of those. If somebody was doing a birthday video and, I'm watching their video of the birthday party, and then here I come. Even when I see my daughter's wedding videos, she had a whole fucking videographer. Her wedding was so fucking fancy, the Costa Rica wedding. And even when I see those things of me walking in, I can watch myself now. And but before, oh my gosh, I was so cringy. And I couldn't even stand it. So to get to the point in my healing, to come and bare my soul, tell what I believe in my heart and soul, to put my insights out there of how I look at things, to share those with other people, to share my journey of healing, and to go on and talk when I'm not perfect. I'm older. I've already had people say, hey, maybe you had something to say when you were young and pretty, but we don't care what you have to say now. It's like, that's you, dude. I don't, I'm sorry that you're that shallow, that you think people don't have any value if you're not attracted to them or something. It's like, no. But to get to that point of believing in myself enough that I can bear myself, I can put myself out there. It may seem like one thing to other people who are watching me, but to me, it's like, I'm completely, bearing my soul. I'm sitting here naked, putting everything out there. I'm just showing who I am and what I am and what my struggles are, and sharing them with other people, because I know in my heart and soul, well, I'm told all the time, but in my heart and soul, I know that I'm not the only one who's struggling with these things. I know everybody is out there struggling. Everybody who is out there, is feeling the same things that I'm feeling, and I just think that it helps us all when we can, come together in that kind of way of healing and stuff. So yeah, to me, I can see how far I've come to be able to do something like this and feel like I have value, enough value that it's worth sharing, and it has been, I don't know, this whole thing has been all a part of my own personal journey to get to figure out who I am, after my healing and stuff. And part of it is during my healing, because there's still healing all the time. Like I said, I've got people who feel like I wounded them, I damaged them, I did things that traumatized them in their life, which is really crazy because, like I said, when you don't even have memory of it and you have people telling you certain things like, you told me to chew gum if I was hungry. It's like, I don't remember anything about that. I don't know what to tell you about that. I can't imagine. I'm not even a gum chewer, so I don't know why I would say that. I can't go back and be like, oh, I know why, and, I don't have an explanation of why I was the way I was. I was a broken person. I was damaged goods. I was looking outside of myself for someone to fix me and heal me and make me feel better. I was going into using relationships, as drugs, go in, is this what, I was always looking outside of myself to feel better inside. And it was the brain injury that got me to that other place. So, and just like, my sister, when she tried to kill herself, she was struggling in life. She was sad all the time. She was suicidal. She, was living a very hard life, I think, she'd cut herself off from most everybody in the family. She'd isolated, and I think she was living very on the edge of disaster at any moment. And then, she had her disaster, and now she's living a life that's very different. She's not in that pain that she was in on a daily occurrence. She was living pain, she was having a hard time to survive. And I'm not telling anybody, I say 100%, don't fucking go. As a nurse, I saw people who lived after, she struggles. She has a really, she's living in a nursing home. She's young, she's much younger than me. I'm the oldest. She's, I don't know, she's probably now in her mid 40s, but she's been living, and she tried to kill herself. I think she was, definitely would have been early 30s. But I have no concept of time. So, if somebody could come back in and go, no, that wasn't right, Kelly. I was like, okay, full disclosure. I have a bad thing with tracking time and figuring time out. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'm saying is that there is another part of our journeys at times, like I had to go through the whole first part, and it was very different. And then I went through the healing phase, And now I'm feeling like I'm creating my own path. You know, I was on everyone else's path. You know, please take me along. Where's the bus? You know, I was living that life. And now I'm creating my own path and believing in my own self. And I just feel like it is a pulling towards yourself. You know, it's pulling away from that avatar thinking of everything is all about what is going on in your life there. Go in and look at it deeper. You know, Stella's up and having a fit. She went over and looked at her dish. I've even put her dish over by her bed thinking, well, maybe it's just because she can't stand. Maybe if she's laying, she could eat it. But no, every time she smells it, she's just like, you know, like she's gagging. And the neighbor's outside chopping wood or something. I keep hearing a chop. She's just going to go out there and bark. But what was I going to say? Something about the food thing. The biggest thing I want to do is get the pills in her. But like the doctor said, even when I talked to the doctor last week, well, she just got to lose weight. She's got to lose weight. She's got to lose weight. So I can't stress if she's going to miss this meal, I guess, because she needs to lose weight. But anyways, I might be back. This day is just like this. This is a crazy day. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.